Alrighty, well, I guess we'll just get started. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming. Today we're going to discuss some of the issues that some people have run into with the new proposal. I've worked with quite a few of you, and you guys have done a great job helping to get a much better product out for us. So thank you for those of you who've reached out and asked for help. And I've shown a few people some things, and we're going to talk about a couple of different things today, but what we're going to talk about are the things that I'm doing on your computers when there is a problem with the new proposal. It's a much more complicated proposal. There's watermarks, there's different color signatures, there's a lot of different things that we're doing in the new proposal. So this is just going to be a chance to go over some of that and a few other topics. So did you want to start with the cleanup?
Thank you, everybody, for who's ever sending out their cleanup stuff. It's really helping because it's going to take a while, and before we can migrate or do anything else to continue on with the cleanup process, we don't want anything lost when that transition does happen. So if we could keep continuing to collect that stuff, because if it's not, the information could be and will be lost, and we're trying to avoid that when that time happens. So keep them coming. Keep sending me by and send me all your changes and requests by email. That's the best way to send it. So that way, I can keep a record of it and all that good stuff. So in case something happens later, I wanted to talk a little bit about also the quoting and the MAP coded policies. Any policy that is not written will need to be removed or moved off to prospects or deleted. Because if it's not an active policy that we write, and then you just quoted it or just loaded it because you don't want to put in prospects or whatever, doesn't really matter, it will need to be moved off. We have to move those off. So when you find them, move them off, and then just let me know when you've moved them off your customers into prospects, then I can delete them.
When you say move them off, where do we move them to?
Prospects. Yeah, if not a policy that we write for that customer, but you want to continue to work on it, you need to have it in prospects. That's where all the temporary stuff stays.
Okay. Okay.
So, and if you have any questions, about how to move them or what to move or what not to move, let me know. Because, moving sometimes can be a bit, challenging and confusing, sometimes. So, but, like I said, keep it coming. Doing great. Get several a day. I like that. And the quicker we can get it done, the quicker we can, go on to the next phase of cleanup. So.
Well, yeah, cleanup's always a big project. At least I can't imagine it's any different at work than it is at home. It's the last thing I ever want to do is tackle whatever the crap is I put in the garage or in the closet or whatever else. One of the things I wanted to touch on this morning, or I guess now afternoon, has to do with the new proposal and the style in which we print it or produce it. And I've heard from some folks some feedback about they don't like the 10-point font in Times New Roman, and can we increase that to 12? Don't like the Times New Roman font, can I change it to something else? And so I want to be clear about the message and why these things are important. We've improved this proposal to include an awful lot more information, tables, full descriptions or full headings for those tables about what is being listed. If we start changing the formatting, we're changing a whole lot of stuff that's going to muck up what you're trying to produce in the way of a proposal first. And then secondly, it's changing the image that we want to project as a company. The font, Times New Roman, is pretty universally accepted. Any textbook you read is printed in that font. Any proposal you see from any of your competitors, any meaningful competitor, is going to be in Times New Roman. And the size is going to be 10. The reason for that is just what we talked about. It's the only way you can get the kind of information you want to convey to your client in a presentation that's meaningful to them, and meaningful in terms of something that you can either email, print, or otherwise distribute to them. If all you're doing is looking at it on your screen, there's a lot of other ways to increase the size. You can zoom in, you can do a lot of other things. But I don't want to change what our intent is in terms of what we give the client. This is one tangible bit of evidence we give them of all the work we've done to market a renewal. Yeah.
I don't have any problem with the 10, but my producer has a big problem with the 10.
And you know what, I can accept that. I'm sure that we have folks that, hey, listen, I got LASIK eye surgery 4 years ago after putting it off for 20. And so I can see better now, and I don't need my reading glasses. That's a good thing. If you have a producer that's giving you a hard time, let me know, and let's have a conversation so that we can get this handled. I don't want us to go back to having 25 different versions of what we do. I really want us to have a bit of collateral that's that proposal that says, here's who we are, here's our image, here's how we're representing ourselves.
So you don't want it changed?
No, I don't.
Okay.
And if Melody needs to have a conversation, I'm happy to have the conversation.
Okay, so you want it to remain with the 10 font throughout everything?
That formatting is crucial. I mean, it just you can't give the tables will all roll. You'll end up with half of a table on one page, half of it on another. I mean, it changes so much about the formatting, it's going to turn into a train wreck. You're going to end up spending
Well, I don't really
hours.
want to change it.
Yeah.
I mean, but I don't understand. I thought the norm was 12 for some reason. I didn't think it was
Yeah.
10.
Now, in fact, if you look at your Accord forms, anything in Accord is printed at 10 or smaller.
I think it's smaller.
Yeah, chords are 9 actually. Yeah,
Yeah, except for some of the areas it's 7.5.
yeah, the sub areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I
I
mean,
mean, I got
there's
them.
your policies are, the policy you receive from the carrier is probably printed in 8.5 or 9.
Well, the small wording, but not the deck pages.
Deck pages may not, but a proposal has a lot more than just deck page information on it. And that's really, again, I want to get back to is that formatting we want to stick to. I want to stick to the style, I want to stick to the image, and I want to stick to the size. And if we have a producer or somebody that has an issue with that, then let's talk about it. I'm not deaf to it, but somebody's going to need to do some major selling to get me to believe that what every other insurance organization does isn't something we should be making sure that we use as a best practice as well. Okay,
Well put.
can I have lunch now?
Yeah, you can go ahead and eat now.
Thank you.
Yeah, because we reviewed several different policies, and it's funny when we had ours stacked up next to it. Ours looked like the kid in the 6th grade who tried to increase his font to get his book report to get to 4 pages. So it does make us look less professional. So thank you, John.
I like that.
So we do have some things that we've spent a lot of time on. Robert, first of all, did an amazing job with the overall style of the new proposal. And thanks to Brad and Josh and Patty and Larry for all their help designing it. What we want to do today is share with you some of the standards that have come up with in this process. So if you need to add an extra page, if you have something happen to your watermark, if something happens, what are those standards and how can you recreate another section? You may have some weird kind of pollution liability, something that may not be in the system, and you may need to put something in from Chubb. You may need to put a quote in, and we're going to show you guys how to add additional sections to the proposal here. So we'll get started. I've got a proposal here, and I think I'm actually going to switch from 2 to 3 real quick and talk about lost borders. The way that we've done the borders on the new proposal is with what's called a watermark. The nice thing with a watermark is it will repeat on every page no matter how many pages you put into a document. But there have been different issues with Word. Some people have closed out of Word. There's been some of the older computers that have had a challenge. So some of you may have seen this where the first page has a border, but the other ones don't. So let's fix that real quick. Okay, so in 2010, under the page layout option, you're going to see watermark right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click on watermark, and we're going to delete and remove this watermark, and we're going to add a new one. It's important that you don't go in and try and add it again, that you go and remove it first. So we're going to click on watermark, and we're going to remove the watermark, and there it's gone. To put it back on, we're going to click on watermark, click on custom watermark, and this is important. I'm going to do this a couple times because these steps, if you don't do them right, it gets to be messy. You're going to select picture watermark. You're going to select your picture. The picture is in the S drive in the marketing folder, and that's on the sheet. I don't know if everyone got one of the sheets that was handed out. Did everybody get one?
Oh, right here.
The
Yeah.
cheat sheet?
The cheat sheet, yes. And if we have additional tools or things we want to share with you guys, we're going to put it in this underscore proposal. And it's important that it's named underscore proposal, so it's the first folder in here as you guys go into the marketing drive. And right now, it's the only thing in here. So we're going to get the SIG border only watermark. Insert it, and there's two more things that we have to do. Number one is change it to 100%, so it's not smaller or larger or a portion of the page. And we're going to uncheck the washout button.
Where's
It just has
Lost
the S
border
drive.
S marketing proposal. It's on the very
you
bottom.
have the print screen of that sent to
I
us? What it looks like when you've done your, what you've chosen?
You will.
Sure.
Somebody's talking. Hello? I can't hear you. Yeah, hi, Christine.
Hi,
Hi.
you guys said there was a handout, like a cheat sheet with it. Can I get a copy scanned?
Yeah, we'll email it to you guys.
Okay, great, thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay. So I'm going to do it one more time, too, just to show everyone. But now, when I hit OK, boom, our border is back. And it goes all the way throughout the document. Okay, do you guys want to see it one more time, or you think you got it? One more time? Okay.
Why is it not on there?
There's lots of code. There's lots of things involved with the code that pulls from applied into. We haven't seen this with 2010. We have seen it with the 2003 computers. But if this ever happens, there could be lots of reasons. There could be an update that comes in 2 months. I just want to show you guys how to do this in case.
Sometimes it might be there, sometimes
If you ever notice that it's not there. So if this ever comes up, this is how you fix
What
it.
does it do if you don't notice that it's not there and you don't have one? What?
Hopefully the
I think
producer
that
still
happened
closes
to
the
me.
deal.
It happened to me on mine.
I
But-
didn't even notice,
I didn't notice either, and I sent it to a client, and
but
then I
now that
opened
you're
it back
pointing
up.
it out,
Yeah, it's just something to keep an eye out for, and we'll continue to work on it and update it. And we're using something. Watermarks are not designed for what we've created here. Watermarks are designed to say confidential in the background. We took a little bit of artistic license by using a watermark as something to put a border on all the pages with the same formatting. But anyways, we'll always keep an eye on it. But if you guys have this problem, this is how to fix it. So let's run through it one more time.
Paul has a question.
Yes.
What happens if you don't have 2010? Don't have all those things on the top of
You do, they're just in different places, and I can come by and show you where to grab those.
there's no wrongs, not here.
I think he has a doctor's appointment.
Good wife does.
Yeah, his wife does.
Yeah. Okay, so like I said, if there's any problems at all, first thing to do is remove the watermark. Custom watermark. And then, Brad, what do I click next?
Picture watermark.
Okay, good job. And you can see this is the last location you were in. That's how Windows works. So you're in the marketing drive on the S drive, marketing folder on the S drive. You collect that border. And Tina, what do you set the scale to?
100.
Very good.
I'm gonna uncheck washout.
Very good. A plus. And there you go.
Because if you leave on the washout, the border is like so light you can barely see it. So that's another thing.
Yeah.
Found that one out too.
So on the S drive, under the marketing, the only thing in there is that watermark.
In the proposal folder, _ proposal.
There's a lot of stuff in the S drive, it's
But
just.
that's why he put _ proposal in here to where to find it.
So watch, I'll show you. Let's just go through Windows Explorer.
Oh, so it's under proposal.
No,
Watch, I'll show
Under
you.
marketing.
Shared, and then the marketing folder, and then this _
And
proposal.
then it's proposal.
It's the
Okay.
only thing in
I
that
got it.
folder.
Now I got it. Okay, thank you.
No problem, no problem. Okay, so let's say, and I've worked with a couple of you guys. I've seen some very creative things. I've been very impressed. Some people putting Chubb policies as PDFs into folders and doing different things, and it's been cool to watch. But let's say you've got something and we don't have a shell app, we don't have a section yet for it, and you want to put something in here. And one thing that I do, anytime I'm really working on Word, and especially when I'm in a proposal, I'm trying to see my spacing, where I am, I like to hit this paragraph marker. So I kind of know what my spacing is. I know, if something isn't aligning right, especially in a table, there may be a tab that needs to be deleted or something else. So this is a great help when you're navigating a Word document, especially a complicated one like one of our proposals. I don't know how I got header and footer, but I like to make things challenging for myself. Okay. Let's just go to. Okay. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in that blue bar, and we're going to talk about that real quick. That has the signal, like we have of the titles of all of the pages here.
yeah.
And I'll show you guys how to create that right now. So what we do is we're going to actually insert a table.
Kyle, can you just copy and paste that?
Okay, this is a good question, and we're going to discuss that a little bit. Copying, pasting is kind of a dangerous thing, and I know that certain people have had problems with Word crashing when they're working on proposals, and so there's reasons why you probably want to create a new. It's real quick, and once you've done it a couple times, it's very easy. And we're going to discuss pasting and formatting and different things here in a few minutes.
Because I have to copy and paste like tables too.
And that's a big danger with Word when you're pasting something from like an Adobe document or a different formatting.
Well, I'll grab it from like in there and I'll just copy it and use it again for something else, like a lost history table.
Well, let me get to that because I've got a special section just for you.
Okay.
So we'll get to that. Okay, so we're gonna do.
Copy and paste a lot.
He's not going to let you choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on Cosmo.
Okay, so we're gonna do a table, and let's just click this one button. If you want to make a table this big, you guys can grab all those rows. So we're just gonna do one table, one row, one column table. And we're gonna click on this fill, the theme colors over here. We're gonna click on more colors. And don't worry about writing down this code that I'm about to give you. This is in the little handout I just gave you. But we're going to do, this is the custom signature blue. 33, 81, 129. And that's
RGB stands for custom signature code.
RGB means red, green, blue. So that is the color code.
Got it.
Yeah, the red was 33, the green was 81.
Yeah, so what I did, and that's what
I
I.
just didn't realize that RGB code meant the signature blue color code.
Yes. Yeah. So, and you guys can use this if you're doing anything. If you're doing something custom, if you're doing a sheet for anything, this is the signature blue, and we should all know what it is. So, if we're producing things for the company. So there we go. So we've got our deal there, and we're going to go ahead and change the font now to Times New Roman. Oops, not. I'm trying to mix it up a little bit. I'll see if you're paying attention. Times New Roman. And the font size is 20 for the header bars. It's bold. And what is the font color?
RGB.
White.
Right.
Close. There you go.
Someone's calling.
This right here.
The word test doesn't
It's
look
not centered.
like it's up high.
Okay, do you guys know how to change? Okay, so let's go to cell alignment. Let's tell it we want it right here. There's still something wrong with it.
Go up to the paragraph. Box. Not the actual paragraph.
Nobody's
The little button down. The little button down.
Cool.
Yeah, let me just redo this. Okay, so if you guys do have any problems with your formatting, you can just redo it. So I'm going to change it back to 20. This is great how this always happens in the class, so we get real world experience. There you go. So good eye, Carol. Good eye. Seeing that. So we're going to do another quick thing with tables real quick. We're just going to put in a simple little table here.
What are you doing? What are you doing right now?
He's flirting.
I'm just playing
Put in
around.
a table.
You just totally confused me.
Okay, well, don't worry. We're just for some reason the table came out black. For some reason, it switched to this normal formatting. So don't worry about that.
What color are they usually?
White, like that.
Yeah. Something happened at the end of this.
Because you're trying to on the page.
Yeah, something happened when
Should the
I.
time New Roman be at the top of your selection now as a recent review?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's still 10. Okay.
His return on transaction.
So now what we're going to talk about is formatting a little bit. I know some people have had some challenges. What's that?
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Have had
Try to
some
keep one meeting, okay?
challenges when you're pasting things into a document. Like for example, cell phone law. This is something that's scanned, and so if we grab this, you see how the cursor doesn't come up and you can't select the text. You can still actually copy it, and you can still paste it into a cell. But it looks pretty bad, doesn't it?
You can't change.
So let's go to another PDF that was created by a computer, created for something that went from either HTML or a Word doc into PDF. Let's grab this. Okay, some old guys. Let's copy this. Oh, that's great. Class. Okay, so we're going to paste it in here, and there's a couple different options when you're pasting things. So let's see this come over. And perfect. So you see how this comes over differently? This comes in as Word. Like that's text that you can actually edit. Now let's do one last kind. You see how this has a funny font here? Let's go ahead and copy this. And you see how you have these different paste options? This is pasting with the formatting. This is kind of what we don't want to see. We want to keep the formatting that we have in our table already consistent. So if you paste this in, the spacing is going to be messed up. Everything's going to be messed up. Let's say you're getting something in a quote from Chubb or from Chartis or whoever. But if you select this option over here to paste, to keep the text only, it maintains our formatting. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
I like it when I hear. Yeah, this is, and I don't know why Microsoft did this. Drives me crazy. The default should be, hey, I don't want to mess my table up. So. And you can play around with it. You can play around now. The reason why it didn't grab it from the PDF is because the PDF doesn't have styles. Everything's locked into a PDF. But that Word document did have its own styles.
So how do we convert the PDF to a Word document?
I wasn't converting a PDF. I was just copying something out of a PDF.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Basically, when you pull something from a PDF, you're basically pulling a picture of it and dumping it in.
Right. I thought we were looking at how we could pull those in and edit them, but we weren't.
No,
I
no.
misunderstood again. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Alrighty. So let's see here. So does anyone have any questions on copying, pasting, inserting tables, creating the signature blue, which is very pretty blue? What? Go ahead.
When you create a table, how do you change the size of each box?
Out of formatting.
Change the size.
On the box, yeah. How that
Sometimes
box.
when I convert a table, each box, I'm going to call it, or table, whatever you call it, is one size.
Cell size.
Bigger, smaller.
Okay. Okay, so if you click inside the table, if you look at the top, you have these table column movers, I guess you can call them. I don't know what the heck they're called. But you can adjust these by grabbing these and sliding them over. Is that what you meant?
Well, what about making them taller or smaller? Taller?
Same thing. I don't know if you guys can see, but you've got these here.
Oh, okay.
Can you just click on the line, Carla, and drag it, move them?
Yep, you can do that. Once you have to be patient. You have to wait for everybody's got their own way to do it. But just like I talked about in a previous meeting, if you have this works the same way in Excel. So let's just make this go a little further. If you want to auto correct it so it fills, just when you see that double bar come up, double click it and it'll spread it out as far as it's supposed to. Let's say that we don't like how this looks right here. Let's move our mouse here until we get a black arrow. Give me my black arrow. And let's grab this and talk about cell alignment, and let's say we want to stay here or we want to line up, and if one of our cells has less information than the other, if it's shorter it'll still center. So that's a handy thing to do. So does that answer your question, Christine?
Yeah.
Okay, so does everyone know how to insert a new column if you need one? Insert. Column to the left, column to the right, rows above, whatever you need to do.
How do you title each of those columns?
Well, you could.
You can take the first line and make them those the title.
Bold
The
it?
best way to do it really is what Patty just said, is to just use this first row as your title. If you try and, like I've seen some people do where you type above and then if things get moved, it gets messy. It's best to have that first row be whatever you're creating the title for.
And then you make it, the size 14 with the blue color, with the white writing and all that stuff. You could do that. Even goes that far as to making it look like all the rest of the titles.
Okay, good point. So
Let's make one because she missed the one because she was on she missed the blue.
I could do it.
no, it's a good. I was supposed to talk about this, and John will slap me around if I forget to talk about this. So this is subject. Let's just say this, and let's make it 14. And then we're going to bold this. And then instead of holding down the shift key and hitting underscore all the way across the page and worrying if you add something later, if it doubles up on you, what is the easiest way to make a line go all the way across the page, Karen? Oh, I didn't see her. Okay, do you see these border boxes here?
Yeah.
Anytime you open Word, the bottom border is going to be your default option. And of course, it's not doing it. There you go. I had it highlighted, so it wanted to. Yeah. Does that make sense? Okay.
So get rid of whatever's in that first set of boxes and show them how to do it. And make it bold. Yeah, just delete that. So if you want to make this first section, the titles of whatever they're going to be, you're going to have. So highlight the whole column and make it the column, the whole first line.
Oh, there's stuff over here.
Yeah. Like the whole first line.
Yeah, because I had the picture in there, it's all screwed up. So. Okay, so I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to do the signature blue. And you can see if you've already done it once, it's going to keep it in memory here. And we're going to make the white font. We're going to make it 10 points, good, and then bold. 14 is for this subject when we do this part, but all of the tables are 10.
And the test up there is a 14 as well, right?
This is a 20 actually.
20.
Yeah, 2014 10.
2014.
So.
And if you click on the box and look up in your
Yeah,
where
I
it
could
sizes, it tells you what size it is.
Yeah.
If you don't, you know.
just go to another page.
Yeah, just click on whatever that item is, it'll tell you what size to use.
Okay, does anyone have any questions?
So copying and pasting really is not a good thing.
No, copying and pasting is a great thing, and it's a tool,
No,
but
like
it gets
tables.
tricky inside of tables. That's the main point. And if at all possible, because what can happen is you could grab text that's part of another column that has some kind of different paragraph formatting, and you paste it inside, and it can actually crash Word. So the tables are their own little world here. So you want to be careful that if you are grabbing something from Word, you do the option to maintain the formatting that's already in the table.
Text only. essentially.
Text only, yeah.
A table, if you can think about it, is an Excel spreadsheet inside a Word document.
Hmm.
So when you try to put a word information in an Excel spreadsheet, sometimes that screws up the spreadsheet because it's designed to be a mathematical tool, not a word processing tool.
So we can do formulas and stuff in tables?
No, not in Word. I mean, technically you can, but man, that's a whole nother layer of training that I'm not sure we're ready for yet.
Yeah, you can insert some Excel spreadsheets, but it's
I know in the past I've always just gone to like the premium summary page, which has 4 columns down,
Mm-hmm.
and I just copy that, and then I'll go reinsert it in another area and just use that, and I can add columns and add rows. But you're saying don't do that?
If
It-
you
it
don't
can
have,
mess
if
it
you're
up.
copying things from different parts
Of this proposal, I think it's all right.
it should be fine. But if you are, I don't know, like for example, I saw some people pasting, different carriers quotes at the end of the document. So our formatting had changed. So if you need to create, I just wanted to show everybody how to set up a page the way the rest of the document's set up. So you can do it, and I don't want to give you guys more work to do, but if you run into problems or if you notice it keeps crashing every time you do something, then, there's lots of different, the main thing I wanted to show is how to get the color, how to set the table up, and show everyone, how to paste and not have your fonts change and, the sizes change. So, all right, so I think we beat that to death.
what was your question, Lizzie?
What if you forget to add a section to your proposal? Like if you forgot to add a prime section or a Moscato
Good question.
section?
That's a good question. Well, what you can do is, while you're in this proposal, save this proposal how you want it. Open a new proposal, find the area that you missed, copy and paste it into your old proposal, and reinsert it where it belongs. I've done it a lot. Oh, God, I forgot that page. Save it, find it, put it in, then resave it. And you don't save it where you pulled it from. That's just just a mini document. Like you could do it right now, even if you wanted to. But that's how you would do that.
Like a name insured.
Yeah,
Skip
or
ahead
the
to
optional
add
page. No, maybe not one. But copy and pasting some you're not gonna run into too many problems. If you're in there and you're taking like a property one, you gotta duplicate it to make a DIC. You're just taking the whole thing and adding the whole page with the same information in it. It's usually not gonna run into a problem. It's reinserting stuff that doesn't belong in here
Well,
originally.
While we're here, can we also point out what these little symbols that you see when you're in formatting mean?
It's the paragraph symbol.
I realize that, but there's some other symbols in there. Like the arrow means that you're a tab, and a dot just means a space. You know, sometimes when we want to make things line up, I know I used to do this a lot. You just hold down the space bar until you see it looking like it's about where you want it to be. Very imprecise way to do things because different letters actually take up different amount of space in the in a Word document. And so what I learned to do was to rely on tabs. When I finish a line, if I want the next bit of verbiage to line up line by line, I tab over however many tabs I need to be, and then that creates a new absolute line. So for instance, where you see the arrows, that's how many times you've tabbed over. That's more precise than sitting and holding down the space bar and getting the number of spaces. It's a lot simpler way to line things up. So I don't know if you've ever used that before, but
Yeah, otherwise it doesn't.
Correct.
The other thing too with tabs is if you want to have numbers all line up on a decimal point, you can set a decimal tab for it as well.
Oh, really? So like in the premium column, in the premium page, you know how like you'll have like 20,000 and you'll have 5,000? If I don't enter a space, then it's not lined up. So I usually put $ space actually, and then 5 comma, because I like it to line up. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, and that's a perfect example of how you can.
I don't know how to.
Is that on here?
It's not in here.
If you want to set a tab,
In the premium summary, if you have a premium summary.
if you want to change a tab, you go up to the ruler up on top and click somewhere in there on the ruler on top in the white area. Just double click on the white area somewhere. And then you need to double click on it so it comes up for tabs. Okay.
Yeah.
There's your tabs.
Uh-huh.
If you want to set a tab where everything lines up on a decimal, you click in the little the button that says decimal on it
In the alignment.
in the alignment area.
Down there, right in there.
In the middle.
Right down
No,
here?
right in the
No,
middle, down below.
where it says
Which is
alignment.
Down below.
Okay.
Decimal. The word decimal.
Okay. And then you hit set
Down below.
down below. Yeah. Now, when he pushes OK, that tab mark up in the white in the ruler is going to change to it's going to change the form. And if you click on it, Kyle, hit OK. You see it. It's underscored. It's like a little upside down T with a little dot on the right side. That means now, if you use that deal, every time you hit that tab, everything will line up on that little dot. Will line up with that little dot on the right.
So will that work in the table with the premium summary? How you have like, expiring, renewal? It'll work on all 3 columns.
If you set it for all 3 columns.
Oh, you
yes.
have to set it for each.
You got to
Yeah.
set. You got to set it for each tab that you want to use it on. But yeah, it'll line up that way.
Okay.
Can't you also make it so just everything lines up the left to
Right
side?
justified, left
Yeah.
justified.
Yes.
Yes, you
That
can.
doesn't look- I mean, you
Doesn't
have
always
like
look as good, yeah.
10,000 and a 5,000. It doesn't.
Yeah, if
because
you
they
have a
take
big
up different
difference,
spaces, because
yeah.
5 is different than a 0.
Yeah, and
Just
it
like
doesn't-
letters.
Your decimal doesn't. I don't like
Yeah.
that. It doesn't line up.
They do take up different spaces in space. Yeah, just like capitals and upper and lower case take up different space as well. So you're right, it doesn't line up. But I mean, yeah, we could go experiment in the premium summary page where we want it and see if it works.
You want to drive over to a premium summary page and let's take a test drive.
And just
He likes this part.
exit out.
Just close this one.
Close it
We
out.
have one?
Don't even say it. Close it out.
You didn't put a premium summary.
There is
page
one in
this-
here.
Just close it out. Save
In
and
this
exit.
document.
Do you want to just close
Just
it and not
save
save
it.
it?
That's what I was doing. Save and exit, same thing.
Yeah, we're just going to close it out.
Same thing. Save and exit, yes or no? It's gonna ask you the
Yeah, we
same
just
question.
click X and
That's what I'm
it'll-
saying, same thing.
No, I just know that's why I use it this way.
Okay, so go to attachments and pull up a proposal. And we'll pull that premium summary page. Should be at the bottom. Premium, there we go. And remember, you always have to click a policy of some kind or it'll error out. And if there's nothing and there's no application attached, check the box blank app. Otherwise, it will error out because it doesn't know what to find. It has no idea what it's looking for.
Why do you guys have insured signature there to the right too? What's the point in that?
Insurance initials.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Let's say you had 18 different options. Which option did they choose?
Okay. But if you don't, can you take that column out?
Yeah, if they only have the one option, who cares?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like, sometimes, we went through this recently on an EPLI, 3 different carriers proposed, very different terms. I want, they gave us the bind order, but I would like to know which one they approved, and that's why we wanted to.
Oh, so the initials only are to go into what they chose,
Which they
not
chose.
that you went through it.
Right.
Correct.
Okay.
It's their choice.
And the signature on the bottom is signs that they chose and they want to bind with us. And the reason there's a separate binding doc page is because a lot of your surplus lines carriers want you to send a written request to bind. You send that one page all by itself, signed by the client, and a written request to bind.
And that,
It's required.
part of the reasoning behind that is you may have proposed things that's not going to that surplus lines broker.
So you
Or
don't
they
want
don't
this
really want to give them our marketing results. I want to give them whatever their result was. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so that's why there's a separate binding doc page just for whoever you need to send that one page to.
That's why you
Not
put it on a separate page and not.
right. That's why it's on a separate page. That's why it got moved. So this is just what the client wants us to bind. That other page is for the carrier, whoever you're going to bind it with.
Okay.
So yes, you can get rid of that box if you only have one option. Sure, there's no reason.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and set up. So click in the area that you want to put that decimal point in, and set it, and do the same thing for each box.
Okay, select multiple.
Yep. Oh,
Maybe not.
So you have to highlight the whole
Double-
column.
I did double click it. I'm double clicking.
You're not double clicking fast enough.
Maybe you have to
You gotta be
click the
inside
whole
the-
column.
You gotta be, really make sure you're inside the white line, the ruler.
Well, if it's selected, I don't know how much.
Okay, so in
No,
this
up
case,
in the ruler area, when you double click, that's the.
Okay. Okay.
In the white ruler.
I'm in the ruler. I'm
Double-click
in
it. Double click.
1, 2.
Do you think it's
Don't
because you need
highlight
to
it.
do the whole column, Kyle? Just
Maybe.
down the
Maybe that's a
whole
good idea.
column. Yeah, do that. There you go.
Hey,
Okay.
there you go, Tina.
Tina.
Oh, but it's not letting me set. Look at
Well, no,
that.
you go, what you do is you put the tab stop position up.
You have to put this position up.
yeah, 0.86 or something.
Yeah.
What's that?
Okay, hit
Was
OK.
that there before?
Yeah, it was
That's-
there
yeah.
before. Yeah. So if you hit set now, it'll be
Okay.
in that.
You guys said.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now in that column will be that, and you can do the one for the next column and whatever columns you
So
want to
now
put in
like
there.
put 5,000, 10,000, and put
Yeah.
decimals in there so I can see how it lines it up.
So type 5.
Dollar sign,
You're gonna tab. No, you need-
0.00.
Yeah.
It's not working.
No. What you need to do is you have
You
to
have
do
to
is
be in
put your
there.
dollar sign and then you put your cursor between the 1 and the dollar sign.
Okay.
Now tab twice. Because you got 2 tabs up top.
Yeah, what's the problem?
What if I click that up there?
See how horrible that looks? It just doesn't even
Well,
look
no, you
right.
can.
What if I clear it and try it now?
Yeah.
There's something in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've got 2. See how you have 2 little boxes?
Yeah, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna tell it to clear all. Just,
Yeah, because you got them all. You got a couple of them up there.
There's a quick way to remove tabs from this, just to drag it up above the ruler.
Yeah, pull them down or pull them up.
Yeah.
They go away.
Yeah. See, you had 2 in there, and it didn't know what to look for.
Yeah. So now it's still going in.
Yeah.
Clear all. Anyways.
Okay. So now they're not there anymore.
0.38. That's good with me, right?
That's yeah. It's wherever it's at.
Okay. 86 is my good. Decimal sets.
We got 38 and 86. Get rid of one.
They're up. Then hit clear that one. And low, yeah.
Okay.
Now set.
All set. And okay. So now,
Uh-huh.
Oh, that looks much better.
yeah. Now it sets it up.
Because otherwise I'm sitting there adding spaces.
Right.
and I'm a
'Cause you
little
could-
off
And you'll never get them exactly
No.
right.
So type all your numbers in and then go set your decimals and it'll all line up in that box.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Brad. That's great. That's
Yeah.
good.
So that's what I would do. I would just sit there and type all my numbers and then go
it
and
takes
set them all.
care of itself for those cases where you have one or two comments. You're not trying to figure out how is that going to line
Yeah.
up.
And then as soon as he starts typing, it does that.
Well, that's really nice.
If you have to add more stuff in there or add a column or whatever.
Very cool. Okay, did you want to go through shell apps real quick?
Yeah. We rolled out shell apps in the last meeting, talking about putting your applications on for your E&O, your DNOs, your EPLIs, your other liability type using the liability app. And there's only like 3 or 4, what's that? There's only so many things you're going to fill out on those applications. That's why they're called shells. The basic limits, the retro dates, some terms and conditions in different sections. There's 3 or 4 areas you can put more stuff in. We found that there's one page in the back that has a multitude amount of typing availability in the remarks section. Well, once you start using these, there's also now in the proposal a section that you can pull for those types of things. There's one for professional liability, there's one for executive liability now. Let's go ahead and pull a proposal on one that we have a shell app attached. So go down to
Is this customer have
policy.
one?
Yeah, policy.
Okay.
Proposal. And then uncheck the association policy on pull from box first. And then go scroll all the way down. It's like the last one. Yeah, pull that one right there. And then let's say you want to pull D&O or EPLI or professional liability, any one of those at this point. Let's executive. And what it'll pull is basic information. Of course, that's all it's really for. That's why it's called a shell. It is not full and complete information because normally every carrier has its own terms, its own conditions, its own information. So what it will pull for you is just the limits, the retro date, and the deductible if it's put in those boxes. Then if you scroll down this page, it has, see those, it will pull in a certain amount of information if it was in the remarks section. That would pre-filled in that area of additional terms and endorsements. There's nothing in there, so it pulls nothing. But this is where you could type or insert your quotes or whatever it is from that particular carrier, and then you have your subject twos at the bottom. Because most of them have to have your terms, conditions, endorsements, and your subject twos. Almost every quote you get from a carrier. But that's all it does, it's just a shell. There's executive liability one, there's a professional liability, there's an EPLI inside of here as well. And see how it's top right there in that line, it says coverage detail, it says claims made policy, and it pulls whatever you put in that box on the app. If you typed in on that other box, E&O or D&O or EPLI, do you know what area I'm talking about on the app? On the GL app?
Yeah, where you don't check GL, but you check the other one.
And you check claims made and you hit other and you type in.
Yeah, whatever you type
That's
in.
what will pull there. So it kind of triggers in your mind what it is you've pulled in here. But you do have to obviously spell stuff
Can I
out.
see what the EPL one looks like?
It looked the same exact way.
Because I didn't see it. Well, you said there was an EPL section?
Well, no, on your executive scroll.
Oh, it's under executive.
It's called executive liability. You
Gotcha.
could have, and a lot of times instead of doing one page for DNO, one page for EPI, one page,
got it.
and usually you can combine them or not. You just change the name to directors and officers.
But there is a direct one that's already tabbed or labeled directors and
No.
officers.
It's labeled directors and officers definitions.
Definitions, yeah.
Oh.
Executive liability is where you pull your DNO EPI, because that's usually a combined one. There's a separate one for professional, there's a separate one for pollution, there's a separate one for something else. The executive liability is one for either DNO or EPLI, or DNO and EPLI, or fiduciary. So this is kind of a combo. It could be a combo. If it's not, you just change the name. You just go up there and type whatever it may be. Okay, that's however your app pulls. Okay.
Super. Any questions? Okay. Next, we're going to go through dead files real quick, and then we'll wrap up. So, Brad, you have a minute to discuss?
Yeah, we've been spending some time trying to make sure that we get in compliance with the Department of Insurance when it comes to how long we maintain files, whether it's here on site or at an off-site facility. We're going to be setting up the dead file room, which is the room next to the lunchroom, we're going to be taking the lock off that door so it'll be accessible to everybody. Right now, we're storing the dead files in the office next to Chuck Fosdick. I'm going to come in some weekend and I'm going to move all of those dead files into the dead file room so we can make better use of that office and have the files where they should be. Everybody will have all of those files will be put into drawers or file cabinets by CSR, and they'll be done in alphabetical order around the room. So that you'll each have your own area that you can work with on those things. Some of the boxes contain loose papers in them. Those loose papers need to be attached to the files. So when I'm moving that stuff from the dead file room, I'll be returning those loose papers to the appropriate CSR, and you guys are going to need to reattach those things to the appropriate file so we can start moving those things off site. Because when we roll out the full implementation of this plan, we're going to be moving everything that's a year or older off site on a monthly basis. And then as things mature past 60 months, we're going to be destroying them because we're not required to carry anything or keep anything or maintain anything longer than 60 months.
5 years.
Yep.
What if you have like 2 years of files, 2 years or more of policies in one file?
We'll be going over that when we roll out the overall dead file.
So we're not going to go over the whole policy, right?
Not today.
Not today.
I need to hear another hour or so, and we'll make that next month's kind of overview.
Purging and
What I want to do today, though, is make sure that we get aware of what we're doing, aware of what we need you to do, which is if you've got dead files over there where we have loose documents in them or whatever else, put them in the right places, or we're not going to be able to get started on
I'm
this
not
project.
aware of any, but that doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Yeah, so
we all
I
do
guess
it.
Brad will be giving them to us.
Carol had a question.
Okay, we boxed up almost all of our debt. Well, not of it. They're almost done. We're boxing them. They're already boxed and ready to go to storage. We're gonna have to take them out of those boxes and put them in the front.
No, I'll be taking care of that, and then I'll also be
They're not-
Gary and I'll be responsible
They're
for
ready to be put in the drawer.
Gary and I'll be responsible for getting for shipping stuff off site, and then be responsible for ordering stuff destroyed as it's supposed to be. So.
fantastic. Thank you very much, Brad.
Yeah, so you're gonna tell us how you're gonna like move them every month or whatever.
Right, and then stay.
Okay, so we are about ready to wrap up here. Everybody get a copy
It's
of
a big job.
the keyboard shortcuts and new proposal tools?
It was,
Yes.
it was next to the sign-in sheet when you walked in.
Oh, okay.
I know, Kristen.
Yes, it is.
So these I thought about it. There's some extra commands that we didn't talk about last month that are kind of handy. I see people scrolling up and down 60-page documents, and we talked about the home and the end keys. If you're in one line of like for example, in an application, if you hold down Control and takes you all the way to the end of the document. Control Home all the way to the beginning of the document. That's very handy. That works on websites. That works in whatever kind of file you're in. Let's see, what was another good one? The Control F. I've seen a couple people using this lately. For example, this is a very long Wikipedia article on insurance. Control F. I want to find Lehman. I found it 50-some pages down in a second without having to scroll all the way through and read it. Two quick things. I don't know if everyone saw, and if you haven't noticed, we're probably going to be changing the title of this last area from TAM tip to maybe IT tip or something. But I don't know if everyone saw, we have a new website.
Yeah, nice, Kyle.
Most people here are on a terminal server type connection, and there can be a lag. People like the fancy movies rotating through when they visit the site, but the problem is that can lock your browser up as you're trying to scroll or you're trying to get to another site. You have to wait for the animations to finish. It doesn't affect people too much here, but in remote offices or for people working from home, if you get irritated by this.
Yeah, try to look in his butt.
Yeah.
He's right there.
So you've got this little pause button. Does everybody see that?
Yeah.
Click that and the movie stops.
Okay. So I don't have to look
So
at
that-
anymore. That's good.
Do it again.
Just look at the money.
Do it again because she didn't see it.
Okay.
Promise.
Oh,
There's a butt somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
It's somebody's butt, yeah.
Okay, so it takes a minute to start back up.
Very
When I first saw this photo, I thought he
He was
was
flipping us
somebody
off, yeah.
else.
Instead of
I
come
realized he was.
See, most guys will stop it here.
Okay, stop it there.
This
Okay.
is workers' comp. Nobody smiles like that about comp right now.
Melody does.
Why, yeah.
So, and one last thing, something I've had conversations with people about the font in the proposal and different things lately. Whether you're in a Word document or a browser, if you hold down the Control button and you've got a little scrolly doohickey on your mouse,
Technical
The
terms.
roller thing?
you can
Yeah.
scroll in and out of
Oh, to make it bigger.
web pages.
It's called instant glasses for people like me who can't read.
And if you really screwed up and you don't know what's happening,
How do you
you
get that to work?
just always go back to 100%.
That little roller wheel.
That's all you
The
do?
little wheel on your mouth.
You hit
Yeah.
control.
Control.
Oh,
And it's-
control and the wheel.
Control and just scroll the wheel. So if you're like here and you're trying to look like, for example, you might be trying to take a screenshot of a certain area and you want to just zoom in, and
My
take your
mother's got
screenshot.
something fixed.
Yeah.
Is that how you get your print screen so much bigger than ours?
Yeah, I move it out. I can't. I
Yeah,
can't read.
I wonder
If we
why
don't have a
every
rollie,
print
can we get a
screen,
mouse with a rollie?
We will put in a rolly request, and I'm sure John
every
will
print
authorize
screen
it.
I notice yours are big
I
and
can't-
mine.
yeah, I can't read.
mine.
And you can
Rolling
rectangle.
request?
Yeah.
A lot of
All
times
these
I'll rectangle
technical
mine out.
terms.
When I print screen, I rectangle my stuff out. And,
But the client front screen, so
Yeah.
yours is bigger and more.
yeah, I roll it. I rectangle it and move it out because I can't read. That's why I was bitching a moment about font size myself, but I was not my child.
Okay, so does anyone have any questions about anything on the sheet or anything else in the class? Nope.
Not yet.
Well, thank you very much, and we'll see you guys in a month. Now, one more thing. It started out, we had some different dates and things happening. Does everyone realize that these are scheduled for the third Wednesday of the month? Some people have noticed that, some people haven't, so I just wanted to announce it in case I'm bad and I don't get the agenda out more than a day in advance. You guys can kind
Sort
of,
of like yesterday.
Yeah. And if you
well, I could
reserve,
say something.
if you reserve the room, then you can see.
That's a great point. But just so you guys know, it's the third Wednesday of the month unless we say otherwise. So
Yeah. Now, next month on the third Wednesday is one of the Excel classes at 11 o'clock.
Oh, in
The chub-
December.
The Chubb.
And December is just such a crazy.
It is, but we still have to do we really need to address the
It's-
dead files for sure. And I don't
Yeah.
want to break this,
well, we'll look at the date and make sure something works with everyone's calendar.
Yeah.
We've got it's going to be, like John said, an important meeting. We're going to be talking not only dead files but purging out of TAM as of the first of the year. We're going to be purging older things out of the system as well. So we need to talk about that.
It's 1 hour out of one day, so it's really, really important.
we might,
To know what day that
yeah,
is.
we'll just need to come up with it.
He'll- he'll-
Yes, for doctors.
he'll-
Okay. All right, well, what we'll do, let's look at the calendar when we get down here, and then I think maybe the right thing to do is let's set up an Outlook
Invite.
calendar
Yep.
date and invite everybody, and that way it just populates their calendar every month that it's coming up, and we'll set the notice for like 3 days in advance. So Monday, it'll remind you of that week that Wednesdays for the meeting. Is that okay with everybody?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for letting. Yes, thank
Yep.
you very much.
And there's plenty of signatures. You don't have to.
I'm saving them for me. Good job.
Melody, I'm sure will be done.
I'm sure of it. Thank you. Did we hear from Loida?
She said she wasn't going to be here. I think she had a doctor's appointment.
Yeah, she came in right before the meeting.
Well, the more reason we need to get this out, just set it in stone so that it doesn't, it doesn't rest on Kyle's shoulders. It's all right. I mean, there's a lot of things we talk about in here that I forget as soon as I turn the corner, so.
That's Alzheimer's.
Yeah, that's old timers. We have old timers.
remember. Sometimes I remember, sometimes I don't. I don't know.
And you're gonna get this to Christine and Roland.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to send it to Tommy, because Tommy's not here anymore.
Thank you very much.
True. He's not a deleting. Right.
Thank you for all the hints.
Yeah.
Yep.
No problem.
I think it's good, just general, a lot of word processing and a lot of word related helpful hints. I think that, and that was really neat that Brad was able to chime in on the.
Yeah, I've never done that before.
I have, but it was a long time ago, and I
Done that all the
forgot.
time. You can do it in any document. It doesn't
Yes.
have to be in the table. You can do it anywhere in the Word document.
Yes.
And I've done that a lot when you want to give people kind of a narrative on here are your choices.
Yeah, then also the reasons why some of the pages were set up the way they were, and some of the columns were added, and, but, you're right, there are reasons that why you guys made that style. Besides the font that it's universal, we added stuff in the documents.
I'm sure that another board have another promoter so we can have this discussion. It's one of the local people, so that helps quickly get it out to more folks.
If for no other reason, I think using the Accord app is a good example. Something that's even smaller that we're able to work with somehow. Number two, how much time is being spent, because you have to resize everything, and it's a
Every page.
good chance that it doesn't look as good as it did before if you do resize.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Think you're behind now. Try doing it after, try
Yeah.
investing an extra 3 or 4 hours in every proposal. Just to
That's
make-
exactly it, and that's why we tried to avoid, we did try to avoid that, but
No, so, I don't want to get down to the,
here's a guy's butt right there, see? Oh, yeah.
I don't want to get down to the, psycho dad answer, which is because I said so.
Yeah, I know.
You've always got that in your back pocket, which is nice. If you need.
No, it's a psycho parent, it's not even a psycho dad one, it's a psycho parent one.
I'll have to trim this a little bit.